Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as was the vast majority of crypto and finance. And I want to start off with this tweet here because I really do think something big is coming to this space. It's not clickbait, it's not garbage. I truly think that we are on the brink of a major revolution. That revolution will be institutional mass adoption. This is the something big coming, right? Institutional mass adoption is waiting on the sidelines. I've always said this, right? Like, as a retail investor and as a retail individual, you need to understand that our money versus institutional grade money is completely different. All right. As we really look at this space, we are looking at this space right now and thinking, wow, you know, I thought XRP would be valued at this. I thought XRP was going to go here. When we should really be looking at, all right, who are the people looking at these assets right now? Who are the people that are a part of these organizations that are talking about blockchain and DLT? Who are the people that Ripple CEOs, for example, are meeting with? Who is Ripple trying to sell these products to? Like, we should actually be looking at things that matter rather than saying, well, I thought XRP's price was going to go here. Like, it's just ridiculous, right? And the reason why I say this is because, you know, is institutions saying right now, wow, I thought XRP would have pumped a lot more with the lawsuit? Or why isn't XRP trading at this? Institutions do not care. All right, they don't care about price. I said this over on Twitter. I said, let's take a second to think about some of the organizations embracing blockchain and DLT. You have the DTCC. I can guarantee you right now, your friends, your family, none of them know about the DTCC. They are moving and settling $2.4 quadrillion worth of securities per year. They already have a DLT platform. SWIFT, which is a global network comprised of 11,000 plus banks and financial institutions, an absolute global giant, if you will, is now embracing this technology with the DTCC as well through Chainlink, doing experiments, how to connect to blockchain networks, how to utilize and embrace the power behind them. The BIS, the central bank of central banks, accounting for 95% of the global GDP, are running experiments with names like Quant, for an example, working with names like Ripple, for an example. And for those that don't know, here you guys have the Cross-Border Payments Interoperability and Extension Task Force. Shout out to Anderson for bringing this back up. With, of course, the BIS, this doesn't just happen for no reason for Ripple. There are other included focused on DLT, but only one with a public jurisdictionless digital asset, Ripple. I'm telling you right now, these are the names that matter. The ISDA, an organization focused on global derivatives market to make them safer and more efficient, $600 trillion notional value. And mind you, we recently just had Raoul Pal talking about how this $1 quadrillion crypto use case that dwarfs everything could come to this industry. This is derivatives. BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, three companies that own everything with a combined total of over $20 trillion in assets under management, are heavily focused on the space. These three companies are not looking at this space just because they think that's all fun and games. And I guarantee you right now that these three names don't care about the price either. All major banks, like JP Morgan, Citi, Bank of America, and others, are already talking about how disruptive this technology is. They are ready to use it when the time is right. The FSB with the IMF, the BIS, and the G20 are working on global crypto regulations. Everything is in place and moving faster than you think. Now, with all of this information combined with the countless documents around a lot of these assets and others, I have only one question to ask. How could you not see what is going on? Another great question to ask everyone is, how could you be bearish? The next 10 years will be forged through this technology. Digitalization is nearly in full effect and everything of value will start to be tokenized. These things take time, but once things start, they won't slow down. The fourth industrial revolution has already started. Once regulations are in place, all the games stop. And, I think that this is something good to know. We will have disruptions happen in time, but nothing will be as big as this one happening right now. This technology is much larger than what anyone can even assume it to be. Hell, even myself, I don't even know how big this is going to be. I just know it is going to be big, right? Because the amount of money and the people that are involved here, the organizations that are involved, all the names that are jumping into this space right now, like, it is huge. And like I said, retail doesn't even understand it because most of them don't even know about some of these companies like the DTCC, for an example. Yes, we do know about Swift, but come on. Swift is just a small guy compared to some of these other major organizations, companies. It's insane. Now, also right on par with this, right? Like, we're seeing a big move on the payment infrastructure side of things. We know that Swift, just recently, they had this new appeal. It's supercharge your payments business with ISO 20022. The transition is in place. This is standardization. ISO 20022 is harmonization of standardization. This is a key, crucial thing to note because this is going to usher in the standards side of things, while, of course, regulations are right on par with it. We know that by the end of 2025, they are already instructed that regulations will be in place. With that in mind, right, like, standards are in place, regulations are in place. Guess what? The next step is adoption. Things are moving extremely fast. Don't get left behind. Breaking: India's finance minister drops a bombshell statement on the upcoming global framework for crypto regulations proposed under India's G20 presidency. Check this out.
Crypto threat as well as an opportunity. But crypto is also an example that I use later to say how, unless global cooperation works out well, you're not going to be able to have a responsible financial ecosystem which can regulate it as well. So India's presidency has put on table in the G20 issues related to regulating or understanding that there should be a framework for handling issues related to crypto assets. Active discussions are happening. Content-rich papers from institutions like IMF, FSB, OECD are all being discussed on various issues, and on crypto, IMF and FSB have also given their synthesis paper. Crypto.
I want you guys to realize, right? Like, this is what we have been addressing on this channel. Like, through all the noise of the FUD and the ideas around what price should be right now, this is what you need to focus on. These are global organizations that she is mentioning here that are getting ready. Like, crypto regulations are already in place. They're already running the frameworks. They're already, putting it all together. Like I said, by the end of 2025, they're saying that global crypto regulations could be in place. And you know what's funny about that? Is that perfectly aligns, if you're following the 4-year narrative, right? Like 2025, the end of 2025 or around it, should be the bear market. The next bear market should be starting. Because again, 2024, technically speaking, is when the bull run starts. Like, global crypto regulations, let it be known that this is going to be a rug pull for crypto as well. Like I've talked about, like, regulations are going to cause a lot of pain in this market because it's going to wipe out all the trash. We will probably see a bear market from regulations, but then after that, after the ashes, are there, what will rise from the ashes is the utility bull run. And the utility bull run, I'm telling you right now, does not care about the 4-year cycle. It doesn't. Utilization will dwarf any bull market that we've ever had. Because guess what? It won't stop. That's why I say, like, once things are in place, once things begin, it won't slow down. It will only accelerate. Utilization of this technology You can't even question how large it's going to be. The value that we could see come to crypto when utility is actually being shined upon and we're outside of the Bitcoin driven market, because again, with regulations, I highly doubt that we are going to be, tied back to Bitcoin. It's unquestionable on how large this market will be during that time and how large this market will become. I've said this many times. And also, right, like on par with this, CBDCs. This is the narrative, right? Like CBDCs are here. Shout out to 801_XRP. We see over here, Ripple XRP fam, CBDC Conference, everything CBDC, every central bank will be there. Check out the agenda for September 12th, 13th, 14th. And Ripple will be there as well as others in the world of payments, CBDC, cross-border, etc. IMF, BIS, the CBDC conference covers digital public infrastructure, Ripple full stack CBDC platform, CBDC implementation, and much more. A lot is happening in September. Eyes open. The future of money is here, and it's here to stay. And here we have from the CBDC conference. In short, it stands for a top-notch conference agenda, 62 world-class speakers, 42 central banks participating, excellent learning opportunities, great networking. And there's a video that got posted within this. This is the agenda. You guys do see the dates here. They do go over the speakers. They go over the agenda itself here. There's a few major names tied to this, as you guys do see the names here in this video. Ripple is there, talking more so about cross-border payments and things like that. Idemia is also a pretty big name there. We have the technical partner, director, central bank, Ripple. Here's the biography of Brett Mullen here. Again, there's a lot to really kind of go over here. Some major screenshots. We do have Ripple here. James Wallace, CBDC individual. He's mainly focused on CBDCs heavy. You have R3, IMF, major banks. Like I said, the Digital Euro Association is going to be there. We also see over here a few other ones. Breakout session, Ripple's full stack CBDC platform. Also, we see here from pilot to adoption, leveraging regulatory sandbox to unlock CBDC use cases. MTech's there. MTech could be tied back to Hedera. MTech is a major player around Hedera as well. And then also you see over here, cross-border payments with CBDC, offline payment solutions with CBDC as showcase. That's more so, I think, on Idemia's side. But it's still very interesting to note. And again, Ripple's tied back to a lot of these conferences. This conference is huge. It's all centered out on CBDCs. And even down here, we see the urgency of CBDC has recently taken the financial world by storm in terms of CBDCs. Listen, I've talked about it, right? Like CBDCs are coming and they are inevitable. I've talked about how we, pretty much can't slow this down. We could avoid it. We could try stop, we could try to, not use it to stop this, but I don't think that that's going to be the case. I think that the idea around CBDC in terms of the problems, the big issues with them around privacy and things like that could be alleviated with the underlying technology. But I do still question CBDCs. I'm still hesitant about CBDCs. I don't like them. I think that anything a CBDC could do, a stablecoin could. I don't think that we need central banks to be in control of everything like they are now, because all they have done is cause turmoil in the global monetary system. But I'm still very interested in the technology tied to CBDCs. Because listen, if they are going to happen, which like I've said, I believe that they will, because over 130 nations are already on par with CBDCs. They're testing and trialing CBDCs. We know almost every single central bank is already in discussion around CBDCs. So it seems as though this is inevitable. And if they are going to happen, well, why not enrich ourselves off of the launch of this? Because we could still invest in the technology while it is here. I do think that there's going to be a lot of issues around crypto in the future, which I will talk about in a later video. But I do think that we are at a technological revolution essentially in time. And I think that this is heavily centered out on what will change finance as we know it. I think that we need to make sure of these conferences, these meetings, because these meetings are huge. There's almost every single central bank there. Some of the players tied to this, like for example, Ripple and MTech, we know are tied right back to DLT and blockchain. They are pioneering this type of technology. It's pretty clear at this point in time that, this technology is the future. You need to make sure that you are aware of the utility tokens that are becoming dominant forces around the global financial system as well. And like I've said, XRP in my opinion, is a pillar to this new financial system. Same with like XLM, for an example, and HBAR. There's some other great ones out there as well. But listen, I think that if you're not paying attention to what's happening here, and like I said over here on this tweet, like, we need to be aware of the organizations and the names embracing this technology, talking about this technology, and pretty much giving us an insight on their plans around what they are going to do. Because, you know, if we're not focused on this, you are going to miss one of the most incredible opportunities of our lifetime. And it's not me, you know, talking a big game here. Like, I'm not trying to sell you guys anything. Like, I'm literally telling you, like, all of these names are not talking about this type of technology, you know, for fun and games, right? Like, they're not. So definitely pay attention to what's happening here. Stay tuned to a lot of those conferences and those events. Those events are huge, especially around like trade finance, for an example, with XDC. I've been talking about that as well. But with that in mind, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or beautiful night wherever you guys are on this world. This has been Nick. Peace out.